Brothers and sisters in faith, we live in a time when the enemy is insidious, when corruption does not only come from distant lands, but from within our own ranks. Every day we witness the hordes of the unmentionable ones threatening our borders. Demons lurking in the shadows, ready to spread their corruption. But it is not just outside our walls that we must fear their influence. No, the unmentionable ones have a far more treacherous tactic. A tactic that requires not sword and fire, but weakness and filth in the heart of man. It starts small, so small that we don't really notice it. A single choice, a weakness, a little surrender to desire. It is in these small choices that the filth takes root. And what happens if we give in to this weakness? The weakened will becomes the first gate through which corruption forces its way in. When we allow ourselves to be tempted by pleasure without responsibility, when we believe that joy can be achieved without sacrifice, without duty, we open the door to the darkness that lurks in the shadows. The darkness we dare not name. Look around you, brothers and sisters. Do you not see how some of our own have already begun to fall to these temptations? How they speak of freedom from duty, of a right to pursue their own pleasures without regards to their responsibilities. They claim that life is for enjoyment, that it is not our place to deny ourselves the things we desire, but this thinking is nothing more than the first influence of the unmentionable ones. The true power of chaos lies not in the demonic forms, but in their ability to tempt us away from our faith, our duty, and our will to stand firm. Filth is creeping, it is subtle, it seeps into the hearts of even the strongest men and women if they allow their will to falter. And what is filth? Not but a small surrender to the things we know are wrong. It can begin with a single action, unearned wealth, a desire for power or pleasure, an action that in itself may seem innocent, but in its essence, a weakness, a broken barrier against corruption. Today we see people we know, begin to speak of the right to seek their own glory, their own wealth, their own happiness, as if they are more important than the empire, more important than Sigmar's will. These thoughts are the first steps of filth, for what is freedom without responsibility, but the path to corruption. When we start believing that we can achieve joy without taking responsibility for our actions, we are already on the path to the abyss. The true strength of the unmentionable ones lies in their ability to make us believe we deserve more, that we have the right to follow our desires without considering consequence. But let me make it clear, this freedom they speak of is a lie, for what they call freedom is nothing more than slavery to their own desires. The man or woman who gives in to lust is not free. They are a slave to their own instincts, their own misguided desires, and to the forces that use them as puppets. The enemy, brothers and sisters, wants to weaken us from within. They do not seek to conquer our cities or take our lands. No, they want to break our wills. They want to make us slaves to our own weakness, to our own filth. For what is filth if not the first step towards corruption? What happens when a man or woman begins to allow themselves these small weaknesses? They lose their strength, and in the end, they are open to the influence of the unmeasurable ones. Corruption does not start with a great event, but with the small choices, small surrenders to pleasure without purpose, to power without duty, to wealth without honor. So let us take a moment to reflect on those among us who have already succumbed to the temptations. Steel your hearts, my friends. Ave Sigmar. Hail, Karl Franz. And watch yourselves out there.